Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Go away, blanket. My name's Chubby Dave, and today I'm going to be teaching / reviewing my CZ P09. I've had this for a couple of years now. It's got the standard hop unit, it's got the standard hot rubber. The only thing that I've changed on the gun is I put a extended threaded barrel on the end to put a silencer on that I never did. So today I'm going to show you how to take this apart. So this one's a bit weird because to take this apart you've got to cock it first, and then there's a little button there where when you run out it'll do that, and that's your little button. There's also two little lines on the gun just there. I don't know whether the camera will see that, but just there. So if you align that up and then you push on the button, it's a bit of faff, there we go, and then you can just take that off simply, and then your top slide and your bottom slide comes off. Don't pull the trigger because then you'll have to recock it and fiddle around with it to put them back together, which is just a ball ache. So now we're going to leave this alone for the minute, and we're going to get onto the top slide. Now this is where things are a bit of a pain in the ass, because you've got to push this bolt with the spring on it forwards, and it's just a bit of a tricky faff to do. And then if you take the threaded cap off first, that makes life easier, because then you'll actually get your barrel out. Stupid me. So if you push this down like that, you can then slide your barrel out like so, nice and easy, and then that comes out, and then you've just got your top slide and your pusher, which is just that little bit there. Now as you can see from my hands, my gun is filthy, so today I'm going to give it a quick clean, and all you need to do for that is some cotton buds and some lube. Giggity. And you don't want to start straight off with the lube. In fact, you don't want to touch the lube just yet. You just want to go around all the sides of your top slide and just get rid of all the gritty shit that's in here. And if you give me 3 seconds, I will show you what I mean, because it is disgusting. Yeah, look, see all that? That's after a few seconds, and I'm going to try and make sure that all the white is gone from the cotton bud. What's the matter, Frank? Before I swap over to the other end. Now you want to make sure that you don't break your pusher, otherwise you'll really screw up your gun. But you want to make sure it's clean as well. And when you're lubing that up, just be very careful, because if you get lube in your front part of your pusher, it'll just muck it up, and it'll make for a really shitty firing. Look at that, that's horrible. I have a cold, by the way, so sorry if I sound like shit. But no, this pistol, I've had it for 2 years. This is the metal and plastic top and bottom slide. The reason why I got the metal one is this wasn't the original slide. I had the all plastic version, and that snapped in half because CZ were having a few issues with it. So I took it back to the place where I bought it, and they were like, yeah, this has been happening a lot. So, but now, as far as I'm aware, the CZs are working fine. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to find stuff for the CZ P09 because of the problems they had. It turns out they kind of stopped. They fixed it, they got it all sorted and stuff, but by the time they were, you know, getting around to even making a bit of money back, they just didn't do things like, you know, just random little shit. Right, it doesn't need to be spotless, but when you're cleaning it and you've used 2 and they're like that, which is pretty horrible, just use about 4 until about 4 or 5 until it starts coming out like that, so very little left over. And you just want to do this just so when you whack some lube on the slide that it's all good and it doesn't muck around and it doesn't stick as well, because if it starts to stick when you're trying to shoot someone, that can get very irritating. Okie dokie. Right, there we go. Right, and you also want to do the same on your lower slide as well. And you just want to make sure you get all the grit and grime and horribleness out from your gun. I run 2.5s or .25 BBs for people who don't play airsoft, which is just the weight of the BB in this particular pistol. And I get, on a hot summer's day, I get around about 40 odd meters out of it. Unfortunately, like with most gas pistols and gas weapons, it sucks in the winter. I normally just get a big explosion of air and not a lot happens, which really sucks. Especially when I've run out on my main weapon. I pull out my sidearm and I just get big explosions of gas, which is rather irritating. And if you haven't guessed by now, I haven't cleaned this gun in a long time, like a couple of months. No, but on the whole, it's a really nice gun. It's a bit of a weird one, because to activate the safety, which is just that bit there, you have to cock the gun. This is more of an apes weapon, which is basically the speed shooting pistol stuff. It's rather big in Japan and China, from what I know. There's massive competitions on it. I did it for a little while, but I just got sick and tired of all the rules and stuff that went into it, and I was just kind of like, I just want to shoot things and just get better with my pistol. But yeah. But on the whole, it's a really nice gun. I love the grip. It's surprisingly thin, but quite thick. Like, it's thin width-wise. No, it's thin. It's thick width-wise, but like, you know, it's really nice to hold. It's got lovely grips. It's not like a Tokyo Marui where it's got that whole symbol everywhere and it's, you know, the horse thing every 5 fucking seconds, which is just annoying in my opinion, but hey ho. But yeah, it's all round really nice weapon. My favourite pistol I've ever bought, and considering technically for this thing it only cost me £90 because I bought the full plastic version and then had a metal top slide for free, which was nice. It was just really sweet, really nice, and it's not let me down since I've had it, apart from when it snapped in half on me with the plastic top slide. But since then it's been absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever, except for in the winter, which, you know, it's just standard with most green gas guns. Right, that'll do. I am going to give this a bit of a clean down as well, and this is just the you're out of ammo latch, because this is grimy as. And you should normally do this with all of your guns ideally once you've used them, or if you're like me and you wait after a couple of shoots and you start noticing problems, and then you give them a clean, which is not the healthy thing to do. You should clean them a lot more than I do. I clean all of my guns about once a month, if that. No, but you should just give them a proper wipe down and then re-grease them back up and just make sure they're ready to roll. With the springs, you don't really want to fuck around with these too much, because if this gets broken or if it gets pulled out too much, it's not good for the spring. Especially this is the thing where it tightens up, which I can't actually make it, but when it tightens up, this is the thing that pushes the top slide back. So you don't want to stretch this or fuck around with it, or you know, do something really stupid with it, otherwise you'll really muck up your gun. Oh, go away cold. But again, I don't generally spend too much time cleaning this particular bit, but I do clean this quite a bit. Because again, it's a bit of a scuzzy weapon. I haven't cleaned it in ages. Oh, while it's on my mind, the other cool thing about the CZ P09, and most CZ weapons actually, is they do a green gas and CO2 cartridge magazines, which basically means the green gas, it's a bit more, I'll say, varied in some of the FPS you get, but like it's not quite as high concentration as a CO2 from what I know, but the advantage to a CO2 is they just work better in the winter, which is always good. There we go, that's nice and clean. All clean now. Right, moving on to the barrel again. Just give it a little wipe down, and onto the barrel. It's actually a really clever hop unit on this, because, can I get this out? I can, but it's a faff. It's a real faff to get this out, and I haven't got any tools, and I kind of can't be arsed, so I'll just give it a clean. But the hop-up system on this is really clever, because that screw there, that Phillips head screw, is your hop-up unit. And if I just take the cover of the slide, so if this is my hop-up, because it's circular rather than a pinpoint like in most guns, and it just makes for a really smooth and really adjustable hop, which just makes it more accurate really, and it's really sensitive. Admittedly, I haven't set mine up very much. I think I've touched it once. But to be honest, like I said, I haven't touched mine once. It runs really nicely. It works like a dream. It's got a really clever hop-up unit. It's for the full metal version, as far as I'm aware. I think the last time I saw one, which was on JD Airsoft, it was 150 or 160 quid, which on the whole is about standard for a pistol. Probably not the best thing to do to my barrel, but I'm a twat. There we go. Right, now that you've got all your parts cleaned, you can break out the lube, and just start lubing up all of your stuff. You don't need a lot of lube, just about that much, and then you're just going to go back over all of your little parts and components and stuff for the top and bottom slide. But I won't bore you with the rest of that. And basically, to put it all back together, you just do the reverse of what I've done now. Bear in mind not to do that, otherwise I'll probably show you actually, because when you try and put the top slide back on, you've got to recock it, and then you can just see this little bit here, which you have to push that down, and if I pull the trigger, you should see that come back up. But again, apart from that, it's a really nice weapon. It's really easy to use, and I would recommend it for anyone who's either just started airsoft or getting into airsoft, or even if you're just looking for a new sidearm to play around. They're really easy, simple guns, and they work like an absolute boss, and I just love it with it. But you don't get many videos on telling you how to take it apart and reviews on it and stuff like that these days, which is annoying. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go on ahead and hit that like. And I'm not sure when I'm going to be doing my next airsoft video. It might be next week, it may be the week after, I'm not sure. But I'm not going to go back to the Bravo site anymore, partly because I'm just not a big fan of it anymore. Like the games they set, personally, they're really good, but because of the way the site is, they're a bit too complicated for what they're doing, in my personal opinion. But yet again guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye my friends.